I put up a poll this morning asking people, has it been a good year for Star Citizen? Now, the results here slightly surprised me. 54% of people, when I filmed this, have said yes. Now, I really don't identify with that, and I'm just wondering why. What's going on? So I went on stream this morning, and I basically had a massive therapy session. The thing is, the content this year has been really good. Like in-game content, what people have been playing, what they brought to the game, the different locations, different things you can do. Compared to previous years, you can't really argue that it's been pretty impressive and pretty good. The atmosphere of some of these locations is amazing. There is gameplay in there. Sometimes it's completely broken, but they've done a good job of bringing new content into the game. So it can't be that. That's not a problem. That won't explain why I feel so flat. The stability of the game as well, this varies depending on who you ask. You ask one person, they might say, it's great, it's much better than it was in the past. You ask somebody else, they might say, it was awful. CIG themselves would say that the session times have been very much improved compared to 3.x patches.
If you compare last year to this year, in my mind, it's not the same game. Completely not the same game. Like now, if we look at even the stats from our players, like session length is up like 10x. It's not even comparable.
Yeah.
So that means people play for longer periods of time and they stay online. I think server recovery is a big help for that. Though the stability of the game server is also improved dramatically. And so now that we've got kind of the big organizational changes in, that we're starting to see and reap the rewards of it, which is I hope is showing in the game. Anyway, it's showing for me, so I'm seeing it. So that's so compare 1 year back to now, I think it's night and day.
Performance itself, well, it hasn't moved that far. You look at that and you think, well, ultimately it's all fallen a bit flat. I think I was hoping once those first patches came out and it looked like performance was going in the right direction, I thought, wow, this is it. This is finally the time when CIG really go for it. They really go for optimization, get the persistent universe working really well. But things have gone backwards. If you play on a high-end system, you can get half decent performance. Performance isn't an issue for me. My experience of the game isn't really ruined by terrible performance. The other thing they've done differently slightly this year is sell a lot of ships. Now, they obviously are doing that for money, which we'll talk about in a second, but people have enjoyed these ships. They've been good ships that people wanted to have in the game, things like the Idris, the Apollo, ships that people have been waiting for a long time. So the ships stuff has been good this year. And like we say, the money is going to break all records this year, which suggests that, like this poll says, people are enjoying Star Citizen this year. They're spending more money. And again, there's more spaceships being sold, but people are still buying them. So that's a good sign. And the number of accounts is also heading in the right direction. Last year was quite low, and we're going to head upwards from where we were last year. So if all that's pretty decent, why do I feel so flat about the game? Now, like I said, this stream that I did this morning was almost like a therapy session, and I realized a few things. Ultimately, I want to play this game when it resembles more of a real game. While the game is still kind of wiping, sometimes on purpose and sometimes just accidentally removing items and ships, I just don't have much interest in playing just very regularly. The content they're putting out obviously is fun, it's worth checking out, but until persistence is actually persistent, I'll probably just only ever log on just to check things out and then do events when there's some account-bound rewards that look cool. Yes, there are definitely things you can do right now in the game and people have fun, and I know a lot of people play weekly or daily, but for me, I am longing to play a kind of joined-up game, a game with polished game loops, player interactions, social tools, a game that I can play for weeks and months on end to achieve a large goal, like maybe building my own base. What I realized by talking to the chat was that I am really longing for 1.0. The vision that CIG laid out at CitizenCon last year for 1.0 was pretty compelling in my opinion.
The one means we're committing to higher base performance and minimal bugs. No longer will we reference that the game is in development. This will be a fully released and polished experience. It means fully rounded gameplay loops, from new player experience to story missions and endgame content. And crucially, it means no more resets between patches. No longer am I mining just because I like it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But now I am mining for a purpose and for multiple reasons. For credits, for reputation, for resources, for blueprints, and ultimately as a stepping stone to crafting my own ships to enjoy other professions. And this is just one of many loops. This is the core of Star Citizen 1.0.
Now, I'm sure that not everything they talked about will come with 1.0, the release. This is CIG after all. Some of the things will slip into 1.x patches for sure. But a game where I can log in and work towards major goals, where I can craft my way towards a base or play certain content to hunt for blueprints, all joined up, many things to get stuck into, that is what I'm after. And even after all these years, I'm still hopeful that Star Citizen will become a game that I really want to play a lot. But the list of things needed for 1.0 is massive. And this is why I think I feel so flat about the game this year. CIG, through their video content and communication, haven't really shown that major progress is being made towards 1.0. CIG's own video content used to be all about what the devs were working on behind the scenes, looking at how the game was very, very slowly progressing. But because video content this year has been all about selling ships and patch content, to me, it doesn't really feel like there has been much tangible progress towards that 1.0 goal. Now, the key thing here is obviously CitizenCon Direct. It's now 10 days away. It's going to be 2 hours of video content on something we don't really know yet. And I've already put out my prediction video. But after my kind of on-screen therapy session, I realized that my hopes can basically be boiled down to this. Please, CIG, show us that behind the scenes, even though Squadron 42 is the focus, please show us that you have been making some tangible, genuine progress towards 1.0. That, I think, is all I really care about at this stage. Now, maybe you feel the same as me. Maybe 1.0 is all it is, but potentially you're in the opposite boat. Maybe you want to play this game regularly. Maybe you log in with your friends, you run through the content, you're grinding for Wicklow ships, even though they might get lost. People are different, and the people in this poll obviously don't feel the same as me. So I'm aware that how I feel about this doesn't represent the majority. But I do genuinely feel really flat. But maybe in the next 10 days after CitizenCon, I'll suddenly be like, oh, amazing, CIG, they delivered. I mean, let's hope that the CitizenCon does actually show all the stuff that they've been working on, and 1.0 is still being focused on, even though Squadron seems to be sucking all the life out of the project. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. Maybe you think it's been a good year. Maybe, like me, you feel a bit flat. Let me know in the comments where you're sitting as we go into this CitizenCon. And it's going to be interesting. I wonder if afterwards I might revisit this and or maybe I'll feel completely differently.